This video contains profanity and outrageous points of view, and descriptions of the points of view held by the scumbags of society, aka the invisibly ill DSP recipients. Portions of this video not affecting the outcome of the game have been edited. You just lost the game.
Disabled Goths, Part 2. Ding!
Ding.
Hi everybody, I'm Lara.
I'm James.
Really?
Apparently.
Is that all you can come up with?
Yeah.
Oh dear God. You're just some guy in a Covenant t-shirt.
I am indeed just some guy in a Covenant t-shirt. And black jeans.
Today we're going to talk about something that I experienced today. Actually, I think I see a theme here. Every time I get pissed off at something, I make a video. Especially if it happens on that very day. Like our last video you saw, we talked about March and all the crap that has been passed on in the budget. But now we're going to talk about, well, basically how us invisibly disabled people are discriminated against.
By Centrelink.
And the general public.
And the general public.
I bought this thing the other day. It's a great invention. It's called a walking stick. And it takes the pressure off my knees because it helps me balance when I walk. Otherwise, I'd just be like, ow!
I've seen you like that sometimes at Coles.
Or Woolworths.
And or Woolworths or wherever you wind up going. But yeah, generally it's painful for you.
Alright, do I look sick? No.
Nah.
Do you look sick?
Not particularly.
Except when you limp.
Except when I limp.
Yeah. Because I have lupus and James here had a stroke, as mentioned in the first video. Disabled Goths on the 2014 Australian federal budget. That was a disaster.
That was.
Ooh. So anyway, I had an appointment with
The budget was a
Centrelink
disaster,
today.
not the video.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
Would you try to clarify
the
that
video
as
got
well?
like 100-something views, so
Yeah, we're happy with the video. We're not happy with the budget.
And we're happy with the response we've been getting.
Yes.
Okay, so I had been given an appointment at Centrelink today, and basically this was about the DSP and the new legislation that came in that requires any person under the age of 35, as mentioned in the previous video, anybody under the age of 35 who has an assessed capacity to work a minimum of 8 hours a fortnight must comply and either be subjected to interviews every 3 months or take part in approved activity. It's
And
a
because you're under 35.
Yeah, and he's not.
And I'm not. So I'm okay at the moment until I sort of lift that age limit.
Unless they forget you.
Give them time.
Because
Unless
they were already
again.
talking about the limit of the pension being raised till 70. So I don't think I'm going to be around for another 44 years.
Yeah, I don't think I'm kind of surprised I've lived as long as I have in some respects, but no,
Kidney failure.
Yeah, I can't quite see myself
Just
living
please
to
don't
actual
die
old
on
age.
me because I'm not going to have a friend
I'll try.
like you.
I'll try to stay alive for this at least. Okay.
Alright.
Will you settle for that?
I just put away my dirty tissue.
People really needed to know that.
I just realised it was sitting in my lap.
Can you please make sure you take it with you once this is over?
I will.
Good.
No germs there.
Good.
So this participation agreement, I have to do 8 hours minimum of work or approved activity, which includes work for the dole, which is an absolute blunder of a slave labour.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, we don't want to go down there.
No, we don't.
You can have paid employment, which is, you just go in once a week and you get paid for your time and effort. I inquired about self-employment, which was a bit difficult, and they have to take care of it a certain way. So if I end up making money from this video series, and I really hope to, this activity can also include study, which I have intentions to do next semester, and also
Let people know
vocational
what it is you're
rehab.
studying.
Audio engineering.
Woo.
Woo! I'm already qualified in audio engineering. I just want to finish a formal qualification that I have experience in because I know I'll kick ass at the subjects.
You're quite right.
Yeah. And I also do voluntary work, which is another participation part thingy in it. So anyway, my experience is I get to Centrelink and I'm waiting, and 20 minutes after my appointment at 2 o'clock, I finally got called up. This poor guy calls me up, and then we sit at the computer and he doesn't have a clue what I'm in need of.
Which is really helpful.
Extremely helpful. And so he, after a bit of fussing around, after he got his database up and looked up the reason why I was there.
Which further eats into your time. That
Oh, yeah.
You've already wasted enough time just
I
waiting
had to
before.
go. I actually had to be out of there and get the car out of the shopping centre at 3:15, and this was already it was already 2:40 by the time the senior officer came. And wow, Miss.
So Centrelink were costing you money.
Yeah, they almost
Bastards.
cost me. They almost cost me for
Absolute
my
bastards.
parking. And my poor mother I needed to pick her up too. So anyway, the senior officer comes up and she basically goes through the whole legislation, and we got the form up, and the poor guy's like still clueless. And then they're like, okay, she asked me, what are you doing? And I said, okay, I have intentions to study, and I do 4 hours a fortnight with an animal rescue shelter. Apparently not good enough. She's like, do you wish to go into paid work? I said, not right now, no.
And
then she said,
you'd like to if you were fit.
I'm not fit for work. That's the problem.
That's
and they
why-
still have me on the 8 hours. It's
Yeah,
like, no, I
that's-
have this thing
yeah.
now because I can barely walk.
That's why you're
So
on disability
she asked me, what do you do with your time? I said, I pretty much sit on my ass. Honestly, I sometimes go out with a friend of mine and do some shopping, or go out with my mother, but most of the time I'm confined to bed. And she's like, do you get anything out of that? I said, you think I actually get anything out of that? No, I don't. If I had any energy, I said, I have lupus and chronic fatigue. And she's like, oh,
That's
here's...
possibly the stupidest question I've ever heard anyone from Centrelink ask.
And the stupidest...
What do you get out of being in bed?
Exactly. And the stupidest thing that she actually said to me was, do you see a doctor regularly for treatment? And have you discussed your treatments? You think there's a treatment for chronic fatigue and lupus? Oh my god, that's cute.
Yeah, have you not
Anyway,
been
this
seeing
woman-
doctors for years?
I've been
about
seeing
this?
doctors since I was born, but like on a regular basis since I was
Honestly.
13 years old, because I've had health issues for a long time. And this is not just when I'm having a cold, but when I'm feeling sick. I got thrown around the boat. I got told I might have fibromyalgia. I got told I have a viral illness, which I probably do, and it's not helping. And my rheumatologist clearly states that there's no treatment for chronic fatigue syndrome. No treatment. And this is a guy who knows his shit. He's like the head of the board of rheumatologists.
So basically, you know, there's more than
Arthritis
this
Australia.
woman from Centrelink.
Yeah, and she's apparently okay to tell me that you can't be negative about your situation. You have to be positive. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 2 years? It's like, well, I want to be better, first of all.
Yeah, well, you'll
Be positive. It's like, you can't... That's like exactly what
Yeah.
Toasty, our friend, said.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Toast, we love you. He said, basically, okay, tell someone to not be depressed is like telling someone not to have a broken leg. Telling someone telling someone who has schizophrenia not to have schizophrenia.
Yeah, don't be mad, people.
No! And
It
the
doesn't-
worst part
it
of this
really
woman,
doesn't work
the
like
worst
that,
part
does
of this woman, she has really bad resting bitch face syndrome. You know when you just like rest your face and you just look
And you just
like
look
you're
like-
pissed off?
Mm.
That's how she looks permanently. I've seen her. She's been working at my local Centrelink office for years. Sure, if she had maybe had a better day, she might have been a bit more nice, but I think she cops a lot of crap, and I empathize with her on that, but she doesn't have any right to tell
Should
me.
actually take it out on you.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the
Doesn't
things we
work like
face.
that, Centrelink.
You know what? This is exactly the shit I copped from family friends of ours. They said, get a job, get a job. It's like, wow, let me put on my job suit and go into jobby land.
Yeah.
You know that quote?
Yes, I saw that. It was particularly, as one of our
That
other
was
friends.
more for that was more for people who are actually unemployed. But I need special provisions made in the workplace to handle me, and I have to be allowed. Firstly, I can't travel too far every day. Two, I can't use public transport anymore. I live in my car, as mentioned in the
previous video.
Yeah, and you can't live without my car either.
No, I can't live without your car.
Yeah. And this thing is I'm probably going to become heavily dependent on this in wintertime because my knees are just so painful.
And my experience with my own is it's been a goddamn nuisance to have to carry this thing pretty much everywhere I go when I leave the house. But by the same token, it's also exceedingly handy and indeed necessary. And you'll find that, I think, with yours as well.
Yeah, because it keeps people quiet.
It does.
But when you don't look sick, you're still discriminated against. It's like...
And people just expect you to find a job.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's not just doesn't just go for physical illnesses. It doesn't go for chronic illnesses like your autoimmune diseases, your musculoskeletal diseases. It also goes for mental illnesses. Bipolar scores pretty high on the DSP application because of how it affects people. Social anxiety, another condition that debilitates people and prevents them from actually finding work. It ruins them. I know so many people with social anxiety, and even though they might be comfortable around me, they're not comfortable around other people. Yeah, they're not the right kind of people to be forced into retail. Yeah,
it doesn't work. Certain people just can't do that sort of work. It just doesn't work that way for them.
No, and isn't this an Einstein quote? If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its life thinking it's stupid.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's a genius. And it's true, like most people out there are pretty smart, but if you're going to keep judging them for their own abilities in fields that they can't actually, like, thrive in. It's like, I would not thrive in an office environment. I'm definitely not a sort of person that likes doing customer service or even pretty much sitting at a desk all day. And that's pretty much what an audio engineer does and an electronics technician.
Yeah, except a lot of sitting and pushing buttons.
No, not pushing buttons, actually opening shit up and actually soldering.
Oh, that, yeah.
And wiring.
So that the buttons can be pushed.
Yeah! The fixing of the broken things. Yeah, this thing is going to be very useful. See, this is what we mentioned when I have this with me. When James makes an unethical product choice in the supermarket, I can just whack him over the head, or we can have a sword fight.
Yeah, and I can hit you over the head when I get fed up hearing about Unilever.
I hate Unilever. They suck. Okay, but when we face our... Okay, I'm just trying to think here, because this is unscripted, and we're just voicing our concerns here through a forum like sort of on the go thing, and we don't want to keep it too long. But you did mention that time you were on that bus and that elderly lady wanted to kick you out of a seat you were entitled to.
I was actually entitled to sit in, and I actually had to sort of fumble about in my wallet to pick out my disability support card. I mean, the driver was cool with me. He had no problem with me. I told him what the situation was. He was fine. And silly old cow had to go and get another seat that wasn't even that far away. So it's not like I wasn't forcing her to walk from the back of the bus to the front. So.
Well, hey, we received a comment from somebody on the previous video that actually mentioned that they were discriminated not just by the passenger, but by the bus driver. Now, that shit isn't on. You can't discriminate somebody because they do have a chronic illness and they are physically disabled, but you just can't see it because they're either they put away their cane, or they don't have a cane or any other mobility aids. They're not in a wheelchair.
No, we didn't.
I had. This is my first mobility aid.
You've only just got that. I've had this.
Well, for one,
I've had 9 months I've had this.
To be fair, I have used knee braces in the past. But they didn't do much. And basically, and I can't sit for a long period of time either. I get very sore, even on couches.
Especially
so imagine how I sleep. Unless I'm knocked out, I don't sleep well at all.
No, same here.
It's very broken. I had to mention this to the officer that I cannot work on a schedule because my body just does not work on a schedule.
The body doesn't operate that way.
We're not morning people.
We're not morning
people. This is why I suffered physically.
This is another one of these things that sort of makes it difficult for us to do work, because most jobs kind of start in mornings.
Yeah. I was really in agony when I was working at my last job because I had to be out of the house by 6:45 to catch a bus at 7:15 to my workplace. This was before I had a license, and it was ridiculous because the bus only came once every half an hour, and if I got stuck and I missed it at 7:15, I'd end up having to wait until 7:45 to get it, and I wouldn't be at work till 8:30. And because of that, the hours were just rubbish. Like, the job I had before that, which I loved and wish I could have kept, but I couldn't because they ran out of work for me to do. That one, I got there usually about 10 o'clock in the morning. I was fine. But getting up and being at work or at TAFE by 8 o'clock for an 8 o'clock class is just not... It makes me suffer. It truly does. Like, I don't tend to get to sleep, if I do get to sleep, until late at night, probably anywhere between 10 and maybe 2 in the morning. And I don't wake up and, like, I seldom wake up before 7. And if I do, it's like really early in the morning, like 5 a.m. or 4, 3, 2.
No, not good at all.
No.
On the subject of running out of work, that's, just to come back to what we were talking about in the last video, that's actually kind of what's happening in the country. I've seen rather interesting statistic in the last couple of days since we shot that video.
Because my mum got made redundant last year and she decided after 40 odd years in the workforce that she was going to retire.
Yeah, so apparently this budget is saying could affect up to about 700,000 people currently receiving some sort of benefit, like us, but there's only about less than 38,000 jobs actually on government's own job search websites. So there's a big difference between those two numbers. What happens if say...
And they want to cut it even more.
And they want to cut it even further. Say you took all those 700,000 people and you filled those 38,000 jobs. That's still 600 and what? 600 and something
70,000
people that can't actually be accommodated. What?
62,000.
Yeah, what actually happens to them then?
Yeah, they get put back into the welfare system, and then they were not. Especially if they're students.
Except that they don't get put back in the welfare system because they'll probably be kicked off for 6 months.
Yeah.
Before they can actually be put back into the welfare system. Yeah.
Bye-bye economy. Bye-bye anything. Bye-bye... Yeah, this is what's going to throw people into poverty. It's going to seriously throw more vulnerable Australians into poverty, and they're still going to import skilled workers and they won't train up anymore.
And in the meantime, Joe Hockey's all about you've got to learn or you've got to earn.
Joe, this one's for you. Bang!
Yeah. So I mean, what people can't earn because there's no work, and people can't learn because they can't afford the education.
No.
Unless, of course, you're the daughter of Tony Abbott.
Oh, burn!
Yeah, this of course is the news that just sort of came out today that one of Tony Abbott's daughters got a scholarship, a very expensive scholarship for 3 years, $60,000. Actually, a little bit over 60,000, I think, to this. What is it? White House? Waterhouse?
I have no idea what the uni is.
It's some design institute. I think it's actually a private thing, and it's what they call the chairman's scholarship. The chairman of the board can grant it at their discretion. It just so happens that the chair of the board of governors just happens to be an Abbott donor.
There we go. Hypocrisy much.
Yeah, look.
One of my friends actually said that they don't actually give scholarships to the general public, especially not in those design courses.
Yeah, isn't it funny?
But you know what? Tony Abbott should pay for his daughter. He shouldn't.
Totally.
He should pay for her. He can afford it. He earns like 500 grand. He earns more than us and maybe about 100 others in our situation.
He earns more than the President of the United States, apparently. That's another statistic.
That's probably including inflation and the cost of living here.
Including all of that. So
plus a bit extra, just like Australia Post do on international postage.
So what? He's paying $22,000 a year for his daughter's education out of a salary of 500 grand.
Like a week.
He can
deal with
it. I've never had $21,000 in my life.
We get that much in a year on our pension.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had that much at that one time.
Saving is not really an option on this shit either. I've managed to save some money. Only because I cut back on a few things, and I still didn't manage to cut back on a few things, but now that I'm paying my bills, I'm contributing $50 a fortnight towards electricity, plus paying my phone bill, and all my medicinal costs. I'm spending at least $6 a week on some medication or a service, which is my massage, which is $30 a half an hour, and sometimes I have to go in twice a week. It just doesn't. It adds up. I don't have health insurance anymore, and I've got to get private consultancy because I can't get massage written off as a public health concern.
I've got private health insurance, but I still have to pay for that. That's like about $400 plus a quarter, on top of all the other bills.
Yeah, and you're on your own.
And I'm on my own.
You don't live in a shared household.
No, see, this is one area in which I've been lucky in that when Mum and Dad were still here, I wasn't asked to contribute towards the bills or anything like that. Basically, their wages paid for groceries and whatnot, so I could basically save whatever I was making, which was...
And that's the only reason
at that time would have been
made...
just on News Start and...
Before you were forgotten.
Before I was forgotten, yeah.
I think...
But now I'm on my own,
yeah,
that money that I've saved has gone down.
Yeah, so is mine. I'm only down to a few $100s because I just paid the car rego. That's what I was saving for, car rego.
And all this stuff gets harder and harder as well, and is
and actually
only going to get
council
harder.
Rates. We live in a council that has a lot of land values quite high here. And I mean, we live in two different suburbs, but we live pretty much like 3 kilometres away from each other.
We're in the same council area pretty much. So,
the same shire council area. It's not a shire, it's a council. It's a city council.
It's a city, actually, yeah.
It's a city.
City of Randwick.
Yes. I mean, I love it here. I grew up here and I'm really happy to be here. But just, like, the council rates are ridiculous, and then you got to pay for sanitation services. And then you gotta pay for water rates, gas, electricity, which is stupidly high anyway, and the gas prices are supposed to go up. So how are we going to afford to keep Toasty in winter? Toasty.
Toasty. Hi, Toasty.
Hi, Toasty. Hi, Toast. I'm going for Laksa with him on the weekend.
Good.
Anyway, we're just like trying to get by on what we have, and then we have all these bills forced into our faces. Also, I actually saved up a shit ton of money to buy this camera. It's an HD camcorder. I spent a ton of money on it. But where did the money come from? I just had to live like a pauper for a few months. And also I sold my excess shit. Not X's, I said excess.
Excess.
And I'm doing the same here. I'm selling off all my craft supplies and a bunch of clothes to make... some money back that I spent on stuff I didn't need in the first place, so I can actually pay for the car. And I'm going to need to do it again next year because I think the premium will go up a little more because I'm still under 30.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this sort of thing of companies just sort of trying to screw as much money out of people as they can.
Australia Post,
particularly for...
I'm sorry, even though your mother worked for them, she was a very lovely lady. Their company...
The company policies are problematic.
I've complained to them on Facebook, and I suggest everyone should too. So don't complain when I quote you $7.20 for a flimsy little parcel. That's what they charge for those flimsy little parcels. But yeah, at least people are paying for postage and they're not complaining as much. So I don't lose out. They do.
Yeah, but this is what's going to happen because your insurance company will be wanting to charge more money.
My what?
Whoever's looking after the car. They're going to. They'll try.
See, this is the CTP. We don't have to pay registration, but the CTP costs a stupid amount of money. It was up $300 from when I didn't drive. And
they'll blame the economy for it.
They will blame the economy, and the problem is our economy is very strong. We do not have a debt crisis. This is propaganda that the Liberal Party have been giving us. And I regret being a Liberal supporter, probably because I hated Labour so much.
Yeah, look, it's...
I don't like any parties.
No, I don't too like any of them. I don't think that the Labour has nothing much to offer either.
The Abbott administration is the worst one. Yeah. I'd rather have the Howard administration because at least he did some good for the country.
Yeah, at least you actually knew where you stood with him, I think. I don't think he lied nearly as badly.
But still, he did some good things for the country. He didn't make us
he did lie about the GST, but...
Yeah, but the GST is like... we're paying GST now, and it's hurting us.
Yeah, and of course that'll be probably the next thing to go up, whatever they may say.
Stop putting up sales taxes. Put up the tax of rich fuck with politicians earning over a certain amount of money. Maybe like what? Yeah, pretty much everyone around. Apparently they want to do something about the 180k debt thing.
Well, apparently that's only a limited time offer anyway.
But you know what the trick is?
That's a great thing about that.
The trick is to create it as a 180k package, which means it includes superannuation.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah, they'll find every way to cheat you out of your... cheat poor people out of their money, but still have that level of, like, respect, I could say, for rich folk. I'm sorry, look, I know people who earn six-figure sums, work very hard for their money, and I know few people that are like that, but other people are actually happy not to pay for private health insurance and have their tax money at the end of the tax go up with the Medicare levy. They're happy to pay it. And do you know how much Medicare helps us? I mean, we're having, like, without health issues, if we didn't have Medicare, we'd be living in the US, we'd be dead.
I probably couldn't afford the medications I'm on.
I wouldn't be able to either. I take 8 pills a day. Sometimes 10.
Yeah, I'm not taking as many as that, but even so, the cost of everything, as we said in the last video, everything adds up over time, so...
Yeah, suddenly you're spending $20 on a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, so even when you're...
I shouldn't complain about that.
No, you shouldn't indeed, because that's your filthy, filthy habit. But
it's my vice, thank you very much.
Yes, but even when, so my diabetes tablets, I'm paying $6 a pop for them, my antidepressants are $6 a pop, my blood pressure tablets are $6 a pop.
Do you take anything that's not $6 a pop?
I don't think so.
I do.
What?
Diane 35. It's a contraceptive pill.
And
they won't cover the pill for concession rates. I pay PBS price, $38. I'm not even on it for contraception. I'm on it because I have polycystic ovary syndrome as well, and I don't want to. I don't want to be.
So you kind of need this thing.
Yeah, I kind of need this thing so I don't have too much testosterone in the system, because otherwise I'm becoming. And I don't mean this in any offending way. I would become a trans man. And I am a cis woman, and I would like to be a cis woman. I would like to be a woman. So I don't need that extra testosterone that my body is producing. It also can cause diabetes if it's not treated properly.
So basically you turn into me eventually.
Yeah, see, that's an even worse prospect.
Oh yeah. I don't wish turning into me on anyone. I really don't. I really don't.
No.
So, but it costs you $38.
$38 every 3 months.
Every 3 months to not turn into me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't get all medications for $6.
At
least I get my painkillers for $6 until I run out, and I don't. Then I'll have to pay that $7 copayment to see my GP, and to get the tablets, which I could just easily go to a pharmacy and get the 15 milligram codeine tablets for a 40 pack for $13, but now I have to be paying $13 to get a dose of 20 tablets. The same dose, just $13. Wow, I did not realize that. Holy crap, I'm dumbfounded.
You are.
Fuck you, Abbott.
Yeah, indeed.
No, fuck you, Joe Hockey.
Yeah, indeed.
That's all I can say.
All of them. All of them.
Chris Pine,
Morrison,
Julie Bishop.
Bronwyn Bishop.
Bronwyn Bishop. Julie Bishop?
Julie and Bronwyn, because Bronwyn's
wow, there's 2 of them. Yeah. Holy crap.
Corey Bernardi.
The only...
All those people. Fuck them.
What's the name of the Greens politician from Western Australia?
From WA, Ludlam.
Scott Ludlam. I like him.
He seems pretty
I
good.
like him. He's a fan of Nine Inch Nails, so I like him. And he's got some good vision.
That was a particularly good speech he made towards Abbott before the state election over there. That was fun to watch.
Scabbit.
That was fun to watch. Scabbit. Yeah, I'm only ever going to refer to him as Scabbit from now on, I think.
Because he's a filthy, vile human being that does not give a shit about anyone. And if anybody wants any help...
And he's too afraid to go to universities in case they riot at him.
Anyway, we're talking too much now.
We've gone on kind of longer than I think we meant to. But
yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah. I think we'll cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but we do that, don't we?
We'll do that.
We'll
keep it. Alright, it's been good bitching with you guys. So I hope you end up watching this and liking this. So like, subscribe, and share with your friends, which is my usual motto rubbish. And this is not a beauty blog anymore. I mean, beauty vlog. See? It's very hard for me to get up. I love 9 Inch Nails.